Good afternoon. Welcome to the Prop Market. I'm your host, the Prop King, and today I will be going over my Week 1 college football player prop picks. For those of you that have seen some of my videos, you know that I'm going to be going over prop picks each week. So each week I'll have prop picks for you. This week I'll have 12. The last few weeks next few weeks I'll have 10. Last week I only had 6. So I'm making up for that. I'm making 12, getting you closer to what we want. So we want about 10 a week. This is an informational channel. These picks it's just for your information. You can take what you want and leave what you don't. Everything will be transparent. As you'll see, I'll go to my screen where I'll be keeping track of my picks throughout the year. I put a lot of research and time into this. So I'd appreciate if you could like and subscribe these videos so I'll continue to make them. Like I said, you can either agree with my picks or not. Either way, I'm giving you great information and I'm just leaving it up to you to make these picks. I also have confidence level based on how well I think these prop picks are going to do. As you see that Bitcoin, the emoji right here, that's my prop king. And depending on how many prop kings you see on each pick, is how confident I am with the pick. But of course, I'm confident with all picks. All the picks, I'm confident. Of course, the ones with 3 and 2, a little more confident than the 1 and 1. But I'm not going to give you a pick that I haven't done research and that I haven't bet myself and that I'm not extremely confident. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. First, I'm going to go ahead and go to last week. We went 3 and 3, 50%. It's not kind of what we want, but we'll improve. I guarantee you that. So right now I'm 67% all sports, which is profitable if you make bets. If you just followed all my picks, you would be profitable. And everything I said is documented with all my picks. Starting off with my first pick, I'm going to start off with Tavion Green from Boise State. The over-under is at 58 points. That's where the over-under is set at. He had 186 yards passing in 2022 average, and I have him projected at averaging about 220 yards passing this year. I really like this pick. It should be a close game. The game's going to be close to 60 as well. I love competitive games. I think he has to score a lot to keep up with Washington's offense, and I'll talk about them in a little bit. But Michael Penix Jr. is going to be putting up a lot of points, and I feel like Tavion Green is going to have to compete with that. I believe they're going to give him an opportunity to throw the football, and I think he's going to do a great job with that. So I love Tavion Green over 205 passing yards. Next guy I'm looking at is DeQuan Finn. We hit him up a lot last year, man. He was really a GOAT for us last year. Last year he passed for 188 passing yards. It doesn't sound great, but he's obviously gotten better going into his junior season. I got him projected at 175 passing yards for this year. He only went under the number that they have set 3 times, and 2 were bad weather games. He averaged, like I said, 188 passing yards. He'll have to throw a lot on Illinois. Illinois has a good running defense. The Big Ten, they're not going to let him just kind of their Toledo run the football. So I see him having to spread the ball around. The spread is under 10, which is good for us, meaning it's a close game. And I love his ability just to keep the game close. He'll make some big throws, and he'll have a lot of opportunities. I saw him last year versus Ohio State. He really impressed me, and he made us a lot of money last year. So with that being said, I like DeQuan Finn over 167 passing yards. Next guy we have is Spencer Radler, 233 yards passing average last year. I got him projected at about 260. Spencer is one of those guys that, he's going to have this game is going to be up and down. The over is at 63 with North Carolina, and I'm pretty high on him this year. Not everyone is, but I am. I like the high point total and the close spread. I like the talent and the experience. You'll see me talk about that all year. He has talent and experience, which we love. And I think he's going to have to throw the ball to stay with UNC. I don't think it's going to be a situation where he's going to be able to run it. a bad UNC defense, and I just see that him easily clearing 251 passing yards. It's one of those that I have one king emoji because with Spencer Radler, he's kind of erratic. Been following his career, but everything points to the sign that he should be able to clear this number. A guy that you might want to get on real quick. I'm posting this video. His name's EJ Smith, Emmitt Smith's son. EJ, he only played in 2 games last year, but he averaged 103 yards per game. I got him projected at about 75. His number has kind of climbed down. Hawaii doesn't have the best defense. I know he's going to be sharing the backfield with someone else, but I still think he'll get enough carries to get us to where we need to be. So with that being said, I love his over 57.5 rushing yards. My next pick is Jaden Daniels. Once again, LSU quarterback. I feel like this is going to be the game of the weekend. Florida State, LSU. I just feel like it's going to be a back and forth thing. Not much from the running game. So it's going to put a lot on Jaden Daniels. He's going to have to do a lot for this team. Definitely against this Florida State defense. He's not going to be able to run against their front. They're not going to be able to just run the football. So I see him just spreading around, throwing around. Chip Kelly having a great time throwing this ball around. I feel like he's also going to run for some yards. So I love his fantasy score. I feel like he's definitely going to throw some touchdowns. He has a great receiver in Malik Neighbors. With all that being said, I got his over 22.5 fantasy score. Got Michael Penix. Michael Penix is another guy who really likes to throw the football. He can throw the football really well. We've talked about him a little bit. I think that he's going to have a chance to really toss this football around tomorrow against a Boise State defense that's pretty stout on just running the football. I know that for sure the running game is not great. And I looked at his 2 receivers, Adoze at 17.5 fantasy score and McMillan at 16.5 fantasy score. Those are his 2 wide receivers. You know, they're almost, with his 2 wide receivers, they're well over his fantasy score number. Last year, he averaged 27 fantasy points. This year, I have him doing a little bit of a dip to 26 fantasy points, but I still see him as a top 5 fantasy quarterback, and he is by most publications. And with all that being said, I love his over 23 fantasy score. Next guy we have is Donovan Smith. Donovan Smith is from the Houston Cougars. He used to play with Texas Tech. He's kind of an unknown for some people, but I've actually watched him play a lot, and I really like the way he plays. He has a good arm, and the Houston Cougars, they're going to come out and throw the football. I know they've been running the Dana Holgorsen offense, and he has an offense where he likes to spray the ball around. The over is at 59. UTSA doesn't have a great secondary, and I do see a regression from their defense. I see him hitting this number easy. I see him hitting this number easy. I feel like it's going to be a high scoring game, a track meet. That being said, I love Donovan over 253 passing yards. Next guy I have three king emojis for is Drake May. I'm real high on Drake. I feel like he's going to make us a lot of money this year, and we're just going to ride this Drake May train. He's only projected at for a very low number, but the number started off very high. So his number started off at 310 when Prize Picks, we're going to be using via Prize Picks, by the way. He started off at 310. That was where his number first started off. It dipped all the way down to what we have at now. He's playing against a weak South Carolina defense. This will be a shootout as well. I like both quarterbacks in this game, but I really love him. The over-under is over 60, which is good for us. And May started, like I said, he started at almost 305 passing yards, which was his number last year. The number crept down to 270 passing yards. You can't pass up that kind of value in the prop market. We love that. Almost a 35-yard regression. We love that. We're going to take that number every time. Jordan Travis is a guy who's going to have to compete with Jaden Daniels. We talked about it being a trap meet. I love this game. He's the other quarterback. I feel like he's going to make plays. His number's set kind of low. I know he started off slow. I'm not too sure about how he's going to look, but everything points that he should get there. I got last year fantasy score at 24. His projected fantasy score is at 27.5. So I love this over 19.5 fantasy score. Next guy we got is Shador Sanders. Shador Sanders is a guy coming in that a lot of people don't know a lot about because he played, at a smaller school, but they know the name. They know that he's Deion Sanders' son, which is true. But he's also a really good, talented guy. I feel like Colorado is going to have to throw the football to stay with this TCU team. And I see him throwing for a lot of empty yards. And when I say empty yards, I mean they're getting blown out. It's Deion's son. He's not going to pull his son. He's going to let him finish the game. And he's going to get a lot of stat padding yards. Last year, he threw for 311 yards. Like I said, that was at a smaller, Jackson State. I got him doing a regression, and I got him at 250 yards. But like I said, he'll have the opportunities. Um, he'll be forced to stay in the game, and I see that him, struggling, but still continuously getting opportunities to throw. But that being said, I love his over 220.5 passing yards. I feel like it's just way too low. Next guy we have is Joe Milton. Joe Milton is a wild card. You see one prop king emoji. I don't know about Joe Milton 100%. Last year, he only had 8 fantasy score. I got him projected at 27.5 just because the Tennessee offense is so vital and so good, so explosive. He has a bunch of people around him. He has a big arm and big talent. Not sure about his control of the football, but Tennessee's got it they're almost at 40 points in Vegas as they're over. With that being said, I got his over 23.5 fantasy score. I think it's just way too little to pass up. My next pick, Tavion Sanders from Texas. He's ranked as my #1 tight end overall. I think this season will continue to get low numbers for him, but this guy last year he had an average of 51 receiving yards. He projected for 55 receiving yards. Like I said, I love this guy. I think he'll be Quinn Ewers, most reliable target. Aside from, maybe throwing it out there to Worthy, but I feel like this guy's going to be a consistent guy. And I feel like he does a great job of running after the catch. I see them trying to get him the ball a lot. I love his over 45.5 receiving yards. Now for a recap, Green over 205 passing yards, Finn over 167 passing yards, Radler over 251 passing yards, Smith over 57.5 rushing yards, Daniels over 22.5 fantasy score, Milton over 23.5 fantasy score, Penix over 23.5, Smith 253, May 270 passing yards, Travis 19.5 fantasy score, Shador Sanders over 220.5 passing yards, and I have Tavion Sanders over 44.5 receiving yards. Like I said, if you love this video, go ahead and like this video. I don't mind if you skip throughout the video, you didn't really watch the video, but still like and subscribe. Every week I will be giving you these picks. Every week I'll have 10 to 12 picks, a lot of information for you. Like I said, keep what you want, leave what you don't. And please give me a subscribe and a like, and I'll continue to make these videos. Let's have a bull market. Let's make a lot of money this week.